There's a full-blown political firestorm ripping through the south suburbs, and dead in the eye of that chaos, Tiffany Henyard. Once painted as a golden girl of grassroots politics, she burst onto the scene calling herself the super mayor. A fresh face, big promises, a people-first mission that had folks believing change was finally here. Her energy was magnetic, her words rehearsed but convincing, and her image flawless. For a minute, she looked like the real deal. But now, that glossy brand is disintegrating fast. That carefully built superhero act, it's unraveling in real time. The cape, torn. The shine, gone. And what's left behind is a messy trail of headlines, scandals, and serious legal heat. Her bold leadership now looks more like slick manipulation. And here's the kicker. This isn't just a PR nightmare. No tweet or interview can clean this up, because Henyard's facing something no spin doctor can rescue her from, a full-blown federal investigation. And just when things couldn't get worse, bam, the Illinois State Comptroller hits pause on all state payments to Dalton. That's right, frozen. Why? Because the village flat-out failed to file mandatory financial records. This isn't a missed email or a lost folder. It's a red alert level collapse. It means Dalton isn't just fumbling. They've lost the ball, the scoreboard, and the stadium. No records. No receipts. No cash. That's not a clerical error. That's a leadership meltdown. Now, the questions are piling up like unpaid bills. Why are township funds being used for trips that have nothing to do with township business? Like a national mayor's conference, meant for mayors. And yet, Thornton Township officials magically show up. Coincidence? Not likely. It's a power grab, plain and simple. And when your super mayor is suddenly the center of federal probe, you already know this isn't just sloppy scheduling. It's strategy, shady strategy. Meanwhile, back in Dalton, the air's getting thick with tension. The same residents who once praised her, they're now crowding town halls, demanding receipts and answers. Cheers have turned into chants, supporters into skeptics. People feel blindsided, betrayed. And the cracks? They're showing. Once loyal allies are either backing away quietly or flipping publicly. Because let's be real, when federal agents enter the chat, loyalty has a funny way of disappearing. At one recent township board meeting, it all hit the fan. The crowd? Heated. The board? Shaken. The financials? A dumpster fire. This wasn't some minor disagreement. This was outrage, loud and raw. Whistleblowers came forward, only to be threatened. Staff who spoke up? Fired. This isn't just mismanagement. It's a full-on collapse of public trust. And once that's gone, it's hard to rebuild, especially when people feel like they were played. And then the shocker, $33,300 spent on Amazon in one day. Let that sink in. Not a month, not over a year. One single day. That's not a spreadsheet error. That's not an intern gone rogue. That's insanity. It screams, I'm untouchable. That kind of spending doesn't say public service. It says personal spree. That's the kind of number that leaves people breathless, wondering how deep this rabbit hole really goes. But here's the real damage. It's not just in bank accounts. It's in broken trust, shattered faith. This community was promised a fighter, a reformer, a protector. What they got? A con. A dream seller who vanished when the check cleared. For the people of Dalton, this isn't just scandal, it's heartbreak. Because when hope gets hijacked, that pain cuts deep. One of the few people brave enough to break the silence was Carmen Carroll, a whistleblower who witnessed the dysfunction firsthand and still had the courage to speak out. But instead of support, she was hit with backlash, immediate retaliation, her career sabotaged, her voice suppressed. Because inside Tiffany Henyard's inner circle, loyalty wasn't earned. It was demanded. Question her? You're iced out. Challenge her? You're blacklisted. Tell the truth? You're gone. This wasn't leadership. It was intimidation with a smile. The promise of a fresh start for Dalton has now twisted into a cautionary tale, a real-time warning for towns everywhere. This is what happens when power goes unchecked, and transparency becomes a prop. Behind the scenes, critical decisions were made in secret. Public meetings turned into PR spectacles. Questions were ignored. Community voices were sidelined. The truth? Buried under a polished brand and feel-good slogans. But the press kept digging. And the more they dug, the uglier it got. Scandal after scandal, revealing a system cracking from the inside. Now federal investigators are circling. The heat is rising. Subpoenas are piling up. And the pressure? Boiling over. Public trust has turned to public outrage. What once looked like confident leadership now reeks of manipulation and paranoia. Henyard's response? Cut off public comment. Dodge hard questions. Rebrand the fallout. But the damage? Already done. Her image as the people's mayor has crumbled. Because the people? They're the ones who paid the price. Lavish trips. VIP perks. First-class treatment. All funded by the very taxpayers she swore to fight for. She sold herself as a public servant, but her lifestyle told a different story. Tiffany Henyard wasn't working for Dalton. She was building a brand for herself. And then came one of the strangest twists yet, the Good Burger Facebook fiasco. A restaurant she once owned magically transformed into a cancer charity's Facebook page. Same admin, same posts. Same login. But when questioned about it, Henyard flat out denied it, even as digital receipts painted a totally different story. The deception wasn't just clumsy, it was bold. And here's the real issue. Once federal agents snip potential charity fraud, it stops being gossip. It becomes criminal. Within just 2 weeks, the FBI issued 5 subpoenas. 5. All aimed directly at Dalton and Thornton Township. One even targeted her private security detail. Turns out, an officer allegedly logged over 300 hours in just 14 days. That's 21 hours a day. It doesn't add up. The hours don't check out. The math is broken, and now investigators want answers. Fast. Dalton officials have been ordered to submit every relevant document to a federal grand jury. No delays. No do-overs. The deadline? May 20th. This isn't a warning. It's an order. And it marks the collapse of whatever political protection Henyard had left. This is what political downfall really looks like. It's not gradual, it's brutal. The woman once praised as super mayor now stands stripped of her title and buried under investigations. But this isn't just about one person. It's about real people, real families, real taxpayer money, burned on private jets, luxury dinners, and unchecked egos. Now that she's no longer in office, the safety net is gone. No title, no immunity. Just another private citizen staring down federal subpoenas. No more public stages. No more controlled narratives. Just consequences, fast approaching. And the question on everyone's mind, will Tiffany Henyard fade away quietly or stage one final stunt? Because what she built wasn't just a job. It was an empire, carefully crafted, publicly marketed. Every photo op, every press hit, every speech. It was all about the brand. But now, that empire's not crumbling. It's exploding. Dalton doesn't need more headlines. It needs healing. It needs leadership. Real leadership, not curated Instagram leadership. The truth is, Dalton's residents gave her everything. Their trust, their belief, their vote. And in return, they got a mayor who couldn't stop spending, who couldn't stop firing, who couldn't stop controlling. She didn't build a town, she built herself. And when the walls started closing in, even her closest allies started jumping ship. That $33,300 Amazon tab in one day, that wasn't a mistake. That was greed on autopilot. And what hurts most isn't just the wasted money, it's the betrayal. People like Carmen Carroll put everything on the line to do the right thing. And what did they get? Silenced. Erased. That's not public service. That's a dictatorship in disguise. Her leadership wasn't rooted in service. It was rooted in fear. Fear of backlash. Fear of exposure. A culture where ego ruled and retaliation was standard. And now, the mask is fallen. The facade is done. The mayor who promised transformation delivered turmoil instead. And every new revelation only confirms the truth. The firings, the scandals, the fake charity rebrand, the lawsuits. Every thread leads back to the same truth. Tiffany Henyard wasn't leading. She was performing. And now, with every passing week, it becomes harder to deny. Every document, every leak, every insider stepping forward, it all points in one direction: collapse. Dalton isn't just losing a mayor. It's watching its faith in government get torn apart. And the saddest part? It didn't have to end this way. If oversight had acted sooner, if questions were asked earlier, if power wasn't so easily abused. But now, it's too late. The FBI clock is ticking, and the next chapter is already being written. So will Tiffany Henyard vanish into scandal like countless fallen politicians before her? Or is she preparing one last act? One more desperate Hail Mary to spin the narrative? Because make no mistake, the biggest plot twist might still be coming. And whatever it is, Dalton's not ready. No one is. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit subscribe if you want the raw truth, unfiltered. And if you believe leadership should mean accountability, not arrogance, stick around. This story is far from over.